Hello, my name is Maribel Martinez, and I'm going to share my experience using the ABAS 3 assessment. I decided to use the ABAS 3 assessment because I had never used that assessment before, so I didn't have any experience using it, and I wanted to learn a little bit more about it and become a little bit more familiar with it. I've had some experience with the Vineland. As a teacher, our diagnostician would have me fill out the Vineland form as part of our students' reevaluation packet, so that one I knew a little bit more about. So, like I said, with the ABAS, I had never used it before, and I wanted to try something new. So overall, I felt that the process went really well. The administration and the scoring were very user-friendly, and I felt that the ABAS 3 assessed a variety of skills. Some of the things that I really liked about the ABAS 3 were that the reports included some really great visuals to help understand and interpret the scores. So for example, in the interpretive report, there was a bell curve visual, and it was very easy to read and easy to understand. And you could easily see where the student scores fell, whether they fell below the bell curve, above the bell curve, or within the bell curve. I felt that the parent report had a great graph that was easy to understand by the parents. The parent could easily look at the graph and tell which areas the student showed strengths in and what areas the student showed weaknesses in. So I thought that was a really great tool for our parents. I also felt the parent report was very easy to understand. It was written in terms that the parent was able to understand. Another thing that I really liked about the ABAS was that it included a work section. So I thought that that would be a really great tool for our students that had jobs. That way we could see where their strengths and their weaknesses are. And I felt that that could also help and determine what types of jobs our students could be successful in. So some of the things that I disliked about the ABAS 3 was that there was no basal or ceiling. So I had to ask the parent every single question on the assessment, which some questions didn't pertain to the student because they were either meant for a lower age student or a higher age student. So I felt that that might have been a little bit more time consuming because maybe some of the questions didn't pertain. Something else that I didn't like about the ABAS 3, and I don't know if this is just specific to our district or if other districts have the same issue, but we only have two pen drives available. So as you know, for the ABAS, we need to have a pen drive inserted in order to score and to print out our reports. So for our district, we only have two pen drives available. So if those two pen drives are being used, the diagnosticians have to wait until one becomes available in order to score the assessment and to print out the report. So I really didn't like that part about it. Some of the things that I found easy about the ABAS were that the questions were very easy for the parent to understand. So I didn't have to spend a lot of time explaining or clarifying. And the parent was able to understand the rating scale, so they were able to give me an idea of how to answer. They were able to answer the questions to the best of their ability, and it was very easy to administer. I also felt that it was not very time consuming. It took me about 35 to 45 minutes to interview the parent, so I thought that was really great. And the program that is used to score and print out your reports was very user friendly, especially for a first time user. So I really didn't have a hard time inputting the students' information. I was able to input their scores. I was able to print out and locate the different types of report. It was pretty easy to use. Some of the things that I felt were a little bit difficult, again, we're having to go through all of the different questions. Even though they didn't pertain to this specific student, I still had to ask. So I felt that that might have been a little bit, like I said, time consuming and a little bit difficult. And again, the sharing of the two pen drives I felt was also something that would be difficult. After the whole process of administering and scoring the ABAS 3, some of the things that I'm still wondering about or that I'm considering are, how can we use the ABAS 3 in conjunction with other types of assessment in order to make our decisions regarding eligibility or placement or things like that. And I also wonder how the scores or results would be different when using multiple sources. So for example, for this sample, only interviewed the parent. So I'm wondering how the results would be affected if I interviewed a parent as well as the teacher. And I also still have questions about the confidence interval. I'm still not too sure when to use the 90% or when to use the 95%. My mentor tried to help me and gave me a little bit of information regarding the confidence interval, but I feel that that's an area where I'm still going to have to look into it and research and find out a little bit more about it, because I'm still having a little bit of a hard time understanding, like I said, when to use the 95 and when to use the 90%. I feel that the ABAS 3 would contribute to a comprehensive assessment because it assesses a variety of adaptive behaviors. So the ABAS 3 includes three domains, which are the conceptual, social, and practical. And I feel using this type of assessment along with, for example, an IQ assessment would give us a better picture of the whole child, so that we would better be able to understand what their strengths and weaknesses are, what types of accommodations they may need, and maybe what placement would be the best for them.